Welcome to Lofty Pursuits and Public Displays of Confection in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm Greg, and today we're going to make some pecan pie candy, and Uri is the candy maker of the day. For years now, starting in November, we make an assortment we call a feast. This is the most Willy Wonka thing we typically make. We make things you'd expect, like flavors like cranberry, but we also do sweet corn. And we do stuffing, and we do ham, and our ham is amazing. Actually, it's so amazing that this year, a person who worked at a national ham company that you'd know the name of, wrote us a letter going, "Oh my God, this is perfect. It tastes just like Virginia ham." It was one of our proudest moments. And we pair the savory with the sweet like this pecan pie we're about to make. And a strawberry cheesecake. The Image Candy assortment has 12 flavors, and we sell out of it pretty quick every year. But we also make leftovers, because what's better from a feast than leftovers? And we're going to be doing an 8-flavor assortment for that will go online once we run out of the regular candy. I like to think that a lot of things are candy makers' magic. One of them is the use of color. In this case, if you'll notice, Uri only made a section of brown. Every bit of color, all the shades are going to come out of that one section. It is pecan pie, after all, and it's a very brown pie, but it's going to be defined in so many cool ways. I guess there's another color. The plain candy itself, which starts out as amber, but Uri needs to make white. And he does this by using the candy hook. And he pulls it again and again, folding in those air bubbles. And the air bubbles reflect the light, so the light comes back as white. And it's a key to a lot of what we do, because we're counting on this to force light to reflect through other colors to make them pop. He's also going to save a bit of clear. Later on, you'll be able to see that he'll be making it into steam for the pie, and for a little spacer to define the white area in the pie.
Won't be hard to do. Well, alright. Okay. You win. I'm in love with you. Well, alright. Okay. You win. Baby, what can I do? Anything you do or say, it's just gotta be that way. Well, alright.
If you have a moment, please subscribe and click on the bell to ring for notifications here on YouTube. We also have a podcast that comes out about once a week, and on top of that, we have a Patreon page. Being a Patreon member has its privileges. You can get shout-outs on the podcast, and you can get candy before everyone else with expedited shipping. And that candy you can always get at www.pd.net.
Well, the first one is easy. The band plays some breaks while I keep on singing. That's all it takes. There's plenty of ways.
I've often said that there's no difference between art, play, business, and playing with your food in this case is no exception.
You can modulate like this on the second bar.
We have white candy, we have brown candy. And now we need sort of an in-between, a tan candy. And we accomplish this by mixing the white and the brown, and then pulling it together on the heating table. We could just pull the brown, but it's easier and a little faster this way. And it's much easier to get the right amount made. Next, we're going to make the ovals that represent the pecans on the top of the pecan pie. And we're going to multiply it using some candy maker's mathematics here. One large cylinder will become many smaller ones. And then we can build them into the shape we need.
Oh, well, I told you about brakes. They're a slick device. But I don't believe in doing a thing the same way twice. So the horns play a riff to make it fat and strong. And we double up the section till it's 8 bars long. There's so many ways I'm messing around with the blues. instructions, you just can't lose. You can call out a phrase and have the band reply. You can speed up the pace of the line and make it so long that you use every bit of your air supply. Or hold on the 5-card for extra time. Mess around a little with the scheme.
This is being built in sections that'll be joined together later. The pecans are now made, and a square of tan candy is being made to represent the inside of the pie. Keep in mind, the entire piece of candy will taste exactly like a pecan pie, down to the buttery and flaky crust, and of course, the pecans themselves. The best pie is the pie that just came out of the oven, and we're going to include some steam on top of our pie to make the pie look a little bit more like that pie you may remember. In this case, we make the steam out of the uncolored candy, so that it'll be faint and wispy when light goes through it. Sort of like a real piece of pie.
You gotta pay your dues.
A white piece of candy has been cut and shaped to go on top of the pecans to give a bit of a spacer below the steam. And then we put on a wrap which will represent the edge of the pie and make it stand out from the rest of the candy, sort of the crust.
Just like a heart. I don't mind the way you talk, but if you touch me, something gotta give. I live the life I love and I love the life I live. My diamond ring and my money too.
We've kept the steam off to the side, now it's time to put the steam on top. We gave it some time to settle, which would make it a little flatter and a little bit more regular and a little bit more like steam.
I may live 100 on a bed this time. Tomorrow night can't cover your dime.
And then we add the inner white wrapping and the outer brown wrapping. And the design is done, but the problem is we only have one giant piece of candy. And now we need to scale it from this giant log down into little rods. And we do this by carefully pinching off one end without distorting the image.
I live the life I love and I love the life I live.
Don't worry, that end doesn't go to waste. We sell it at Lofty Pursuits under the name Unicorn Droppings, but at this point you can only get it if you come to the store directly. We don't sell that part mail order, but we sell the rest of our candy mail order at www.pd.net. Uri is stretching the log of candy into rods with the aid of this batch roller, one of our newer pieces of equipment. It may have been made as recently as 1910. And when he cuts them into smaller rods, the ratio of surface area to inside goes down and they cool very rapidly. And we're going to need them to cool rapidly if we want to cut them into bite-sized bits. Thank you for watching. Follow us here on YouTube and remember to ring that bell. Check out our podcast or even visit us in person. We're located in Tallahassee, Florida, right off the Thomasville Road exit of I-10. We're open 7 days a week and we make a lot of candy. We don't make it all the time, but if you're lucky, you can catch us and see us making our candy in person. Thanks again for watching and we'll see you in the next video.